What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Unlucky Morpheus. Yes, indeed, Unlucky Morpheus fans feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bibbity-bop, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Krauser, and Krauser wanted to see me react to this song by Unlucky Morpheus called Change of Generation. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted in a private Dropbox, so unfortunately I will not be sharing the link with you guys, and I have absolutely no idea how many views the video has because once again it's in a private Dropbox, so there you go. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will not be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Unlucky Morpheus, Change of Generation. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
出し抜かい
我々はね、アコースティックコーナーとかもやりましたけど、やっぱメタルバンドなんで暴れてるみんなの顔が見たいんですよ。わかる？あげるのは拳だよな。振るのは頭だよな。体全体でメタル楽しんでってくれよ、いいか。次世代のメタル私たちが連れていくぞ。連れていくぞ。2回もついてこい、いいか。ついてこいよ。ついてこいよ。いくぞ。
wasn't 100% sure until just then. I wasn't 100% sure about what we were doing as far as tempo goes. I wasn't sure if we were clicking along like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, or if it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. I wasn't sure which one we were doing. As it turns out, I have a feeling we are going along at the faster tempo. The whole time, what that means is the entire time, for the most part of the entire song, we have been in straight time. So that snare hit that you're hearing is on 2 and 4. Wow, we are going fast. That's all right. Hey, look, it's fine. I'm just like, I hope they can keep up this pace. And the reason I'm saying that, and I'll just play you a little clip. The reason I'm saying that is what the drummer does right about here. He puts the snare hits on 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, right there. That's fast, man. That is a fast-paced tune. Starting the song off with the harmonization between the two guitars, and Jill jumping in on that as well. So we had 3 harmonizations going on there. Now, I don't know if Jill was playing the same parts as the 2 guitar players were. I actually don't think she was. I think she was just playing sustained notes to kind of help fill out the sound a little bit. But the 2 guitar players harmonizing with each other very cleanly right from the beginning. So that's, and I know people right now are going, well, what's the big deal about that? It's one thing to start harmonizing once you've been playing the song for a little bit, and you've gotten into it, you're ready for it, you're all set, you can brace yourself. It's another thing when you go into it cold with absolutely no lead in whatsoever. Just, right from a dead stop, taking off into a dual harmonization solo or duet. It's a little trickier to do that, if I'm being honest. It's a little bit tougher. So, gotta give them credit for that. And they did it very cleanly. Very, very cleanly. I like the energy. I like the drive. I like the pacing of the song. It is fast, but they're doing it just fine. So I got no complaints about anything I'm hearing. Let's keep going here. Going through harmonizing again. Aha! So the second half of that guitar solo wasn't really a solo. It was a duet. After the 2 guitar players separated, the one guitar player with the black guitar, he continued to solo, and in comes Jill now doing the harmonizing solo with him. So they're switching off. I like it. Giving everybody a chance to kind of show off a little bit. I had to chuckle because I was watching the bass player, while the two guitar soloists were, doing their harmonizing solo and all, and that was wonderful. And it was great. Here comes the bass player coming over to have a little bit of fun, trying to get between the two of them, ducking down. Look at me, I'm over here. I like that. I think it's fun. And I don't think it takes away from the solos whatsoever. It's not like he was, completely stealing the show. And the attention was still obviously on what was being played. He was just having a little bit of fun with them. And by doing so, added to the showmanship and added to the stage interaction. So I got no problem with it. I would honestly do the same thing. If there was a number of times where the guitar, during the course of an entire show, there were a number of times that the guitar players were doing those, dual harmonizing solos. There would be a couple times I would probably, I wouldn't do it every time because it might get old, it might get stale, but I would definitely do it once, maybe twice. It depends on how long the show is and how many times it's done. If it's only done like 2 or 3 times, nah, I'll do it once and that would be it. But if they were to do it like every song, have a dual harmonizing duet every single song, I might do it twice. I might go in there and, clown it up a little bit, like he did there. I thought it was fun. I thought it was entertaining. Definitely brought some levity, to the show overall. So no issues there at all. I got absolutely no problem with it. I know some people might and go, oh, he's trying to steal the spotlight from the guitar players. No, he's not. He's just having some fun. Relax. It's okay. I promise it's okay. Couple of times, if I'm being honest, vocals have, the vibrato has gotten a little wide, and that's a very common thing with her. I get it. It's her style. It's what she does. It's what she's known for. I understand, but at the same time, it just kind of grates on me a little bit. It's other than that, though, I mean, she's doing a fine job with her vocals. I mean, she's singing in pitch, hitting some great range, some great power and projection. Like I got no problem with what she's doing from a technical standpoint, other than every once in a while the vibrato just gets a little big. That's all. So, and that's a very common thing I have with her. So, it's not the first time I've said it, and honestly, it probably won't be the last time I say it either. So, anyway, let's finish this out and we'll get to the review. Everybody up on the riser. Good blocking. Having the two guitar players up on the drum riser like that. Smart move. That sounds like a last song of the set. That sounds like a show closer. I don't know if it was. I wish we had like another 10 seconds to see if they were going to take their instruments off and stuff. I can't tell, but from the sound of the song, the pacing of the song, the direction of the song, this sounds like it could be a show closer. So, Unlucky Morpheus fans were familiar with this show. Am I right about that, or am I wrong about that? Let me know in the comments. I would really like to know if if my evaluation and my estimation is correct or not, or am I just completely off base? Let me know. I would seriously like to know. Let me get my thoughts together. There's not a lot to talk about that I didn't talk about during the course of the reaction, but doesn't hurt to go over everything just real briefly. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Unlucky Morpheus with Change of Generation. This was a request from Krauser. Okay, like I said, I already said everything I needed to say during the course of the reaction, so I'm pretty much going to just hit some bullet points, and we're going to call it a day. So let's start off with the score, and we'll get to those bullet points. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that overall presentation an 8.7. Yep, 8.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.7. What does that mean? Well, an 8.7 would translate to a great skill rating because overall I think this was a great presentation. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A letter grade. Yes, an A, just straight up A letter grade. So there you go, an 8.7, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Let's just knock this out of the park. Why isn't this getting a 9? Okay, that's a very tricky question. And I have a pretty simple answer. I really hope this makes the process simplified as much as possible. I've done a number of reactions to Unlucky Morpheus, quite a few, okay? And I have been very impressed with them in the past. And that's good. That's definitely a good thing. But it also has a bit of a double-edged sword quality to it. Because they've been so impressive in the past, they have set a very high bar of expectation for themselves. So here's the band average for most bands. Here's the expectational bar for most bands. Okay, here's the bar for Unlucky Morpheus. Okay, it's up there. So that's good and that's bad. It's good because they have done such a great job in the past of impressing me. They have done such a great job with their musicality, their showmanship, their live show production, their performance level, both from a musical standpoint and from a physical standpoint as well. Their songwriting, I mean, the whole shebang, the entire package. They have set this bar now, okay, of expectation. So I expect this. Now, when I get this, like I did here, I'm thrilled. I'm glad I got it. But am I going to be impressed by it? No, I'm not going to be impressed by them hitting the bar. If they go above the bar, that's another story, okay? When they go past my expectation, then we're looking at 9s, okay? Absolutely. But if we don't pass that level of expectation and we hit the bar, yeah, I'm glad. That's great. I'm glad we met the expectation. But at the same time, I'm not going to find it amazing. I'm not going to find it outstanding. And I'm definitely not going to be impressed by it. So, like I said, it's a double-edged sword, okay? We have this level of expectation. They have set this bar for themselves. Not something that's easy to do and not something that very many bands on the channel have done. As a matter of fact, I can only think about maybe 7 or 8 bands total that have set a bar that high for themselves. The downside is getting a 9 now is going to be a lot harder to do. Not impossible. It's not impossible. It can be done. You just have to get past this bar now that they have set for themselves. So that's why it's not getting a 9, okay? Now, let's talk about the great stuff that they did do. Let's talk about how they did meet that level of expectation. First of all, songwriting. I like the song. I like the fact that the song is as fast-paced as it was. The pacing of the song, the energy and drive of the song, off the charts, okay? Absolutely. Not the first time I've heard them do something like this, but at the same time, it was very well done, very cleanly executed, and very well thought out. chordal progressions all made sense. Harmonic lines all made sense. Counter melodic lines all made sense. Everything flowed seamlessly. I liked what I heard. The transition from phrase to phrase, coming from verse to pre-chorus to chorus, smooth as glass every single time, okay? Again, I expect that from Unlucky Morpheus. If they don't do that, that's going to be a huge question mark. And it's going to leave me wondering what in the world happened, you know? But they did it just fine here, and I got no problems with it. I'm just saying I'm not blown away by it because I've heard them do it before. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I've heard them do it a little bit better than we heard them do it here, okay? That's not a slander against them. It's actually, in a way, it's a bit of a compliment because, again, they set this bar for themselves. Musicianship-wise, everybody did a fine job. If I'm being honest, I think that was probably the most impressive part of the entire performance was the musicianship. Both of the guitar players, with that dual, with that harmonizing duet that they did. Here's the thing. It was the exact same duet, and they did it 3 times, okay? Now, here's the thing. They did it cleanly every single time. Absolutely. Yes, they did. But here's the thing. It was the exact same thing. In the beginning, at the beginning of the song, at the beginning of the guitar solos, and at the very end of the song when they did it again. It was the exact same notes each time. It was the exact same progression each time. It was the exact same harmonization each time. So the first time I heard it, I was like, okay, that is really nice. I wonder what else they can do. And then they did it again, and I was like, that sounds like the same one that they did at the beginning. Oh, okay. So we're revisiting it. Okay. And then the third time they did, I was like, they're doing it 3 times. And isn't there something else they could do? You know, I mean, at that point, I started to kind of question, like, you know, I know what these dudes are capable of. I know what their musicianship level is. It just kind of left me wondering, why didn't they do something a little different? Maybe in the middle section. You know, if you want to do the same one from the beginning and the end, I get that. Okay, fine, no problem. But the middle section, maybe do something a little different. You know, maybe do something, you know, to kick off instead of relying on what you did at the beginning and what you're gonna do at the end. Why don't you come up with something completely different, something completely fresh, something we have not heard yet within the song? That to me would have been a little more impressive. And there's at which point the stock could go up a little bit. You know what I mean? So I just, it was well done. It sounded good. I had no problem with it. It just, if you're asking me if I found that impressive, I'm going to say not really. It's playing the same thing over and over and over again. Now, after we got past that initial duet and we got into the actual solos, that was when things got interesting. I heard the second guitar player back off, and the guitarist with the black guitar, he continued on, and all of a sudden I heard this other voicing coming in, and it was Jill. And they did something together completely different. That was nice. I was glad to hear a little bit of a difference there. I was glad to hear it. I was thrilled to hear it. Jill getting her solos in, obviously, here and there as well. She got the last one. It was good to see Jill get the last word there. Very talented. I expect no less from her. But again, there's that word, expectation. I expect that from her. So am I blown away by what she did? No, she met expectation. Drumming was outstanding on this. If I'm being honest, I think the drumming was the most impressive thing. The fact that he was able to keep that pace and those patterns going the way he did, as cleanly as he did, whew, that's a barn burner of a song. So good on him for being able to keep it consistent and keep it going and not trip up or slip up. So good on his playing. I mean, absolutely. The bass playing, pretty simple if I'm being honest. For the most part, there was the one part where he did play a little bit of a unison line with the guitar players during their guitar solos. That was nice to hear, but for the most part, he was just, galloping along on the root notes, which is fine. I mean, it was solid, so I got no complaint about it. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying I'm not going to be impressed by that necessarily. Vocally, okay. If you've watched any of my reactions to Unlucky Morpheus, you already know what I'm going to say. she hit all the notes. Her pitch was spot on. Power and projection were absolutely there without question. Her tone of voice sounds really nice. I like how she sounds. My only complaint is every once in a while her vibrato does get a little wide. Now, I know that's her style. I understand that. I get that. It's just, for me personally, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan when it gets too wide. Now, that only happened a few times. It's not like she did it every single time. There have been songs from Unlucky Morpheus where it has been consistently way too wide through the entire song. Not the case here. There were just a couple of points where it got in the middle too. Oddly enough, in this song, it was always in the middle. Like the beginning was fine, the ending was fine. I got no problem with the first third and the second third. It was just the middle section where her vocals got a little bit wide on the vibrato wave. So it wasn't a huge deal. It wasn't like, let me just put it this way. Did it lower the score? No. It didn't lower. She didn't do it often enough for it to lower the score, but it did catch my attention a few times. So, I would give the song, honestly, on its own, I would give the song about an 8.3, 8.4. I think it was a great job overall for the song and the songwriting and the musicianship. But I'm giving this an 8.7. What happened there? Well, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you already know what I'm going to say. So say it with me, kids.
Sing it out one time.
A live show can help your score or it can hurt your score. And in this case, it did help. It helped a little bit, okay? If I'm being honest, I have seen better live visual performances from Unlucky Morpheus than I saw here, okay? I've been more impressed with some other live performances I've seen from them in the past. Having said that, did they do anything wrong here? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I do believe they checked off all 5 of the main boxes. So let's go down the checklist. Let's see if I'm right about that. Stage presence, check. Yeah, they look like performers. They act like performers. They definitely get that one. Stage energy, I'm going to give that a check. Not as much as I've seen from them in the past, but there was definitely movement and motion happening because people were changing position. People were moving from left to right. People were moving from the right side of the stage over to the left side of the stage, or they were moving up to the drum riser, or they were coming down from the drum riser. That is movement and motion. That is creating energy. Absolutely. It was very casually done, but it was still done. So I got no problem with it. I will absolutely give it the checkbox. I've seen better from them, but they still got the check. So I'm not worried. It's not even a weak check. It's a solid check. Moving on, we got stage interaction. Yeah, definitely a check. The bassist definitely made it a point to do that. While the 2 guitar players were interacting, being side by side with each other while they were doing the harmonizing, bass player coming over and, trying to make his presence felt like, hey, I'm over here too, I thought that was clever. I thought that was fun. It added a moment of levity to the song, which I felt it kind of needed a little bit. I'm not saying do that every single time. Okay, let's say they have 12 songs in their set list and they're going to do 12 harmonizing solos, which, let's be honest, Unlucky Morpheus are kind of known for. I wouldn't do that 12 times. I absolutely would not. At that point, it gets to be cheap. It gets to be clownish. It gets to be, it turns into slapstick, basically. And that's not what you really want in a rock performance. Now, doing it, like I said, if you have 12 times you're going to do it, you do it once, maybe twice. Let's call it 2. That's fine. I got no problem with it. It's fun. It just makes everybody smile a little bit. But there's a big difference between making everybody smile and making everybody groan because you've overdone it. So I liked what he did. I thought that was cute. I saw a number of other moments where we had the interaction. The big one coming up at the very end where everybody went up on the drum riser side by side, with that show of unity. I like that. That looked good. Stage. We did have a stage interaction, crowd interaction. This one was the one that I had a little bit of a problem with. They did do it, okay? They absolutely did do it at the very beginning of the song. Actually, before the song even started, they did it. They made a big deal about it, getting the crowd to respond. I am going to give it the check. I am going to give it the check there. But I'm going to give it the check because they did put so much attention into the beginning before the song started. And then, like I said, the bass player kind of looking into the crowd, interacting with the crowd like, hey, notice me, I'm over here. He ducking down, trying to get the crowd to look at him. I mean, that technically is crowd interaction. So I'm going to give it that as well. The fact that they did all the stuff at the beginning, it's because they did put so much attention into it. That's what kind of tipped the scale for me. If they had just done a little casual thing, before the song started, that might be a different story, because at that point there wasn't a whole lot of effort put into it. Now they put a lot of effort into it, so I'll give it to them. Let's see, after that is showmanship. Yeah, check, big time check. There was a number of times we had some great showmanship happening on the stage between the guitar players, Jill, the bass player obviously stealing the show a little bit there. I thought that was fun. The coming together at the end, all up on the riser, that definitely again shows that sign of unity, good blocking. The dual guitar, the guitar duet, the harmonizing duet at the very end with each guitar player up on the riser, one on each side. Again, I think that's good blocking. I think that was a very good decision on the blocking side. So yeah, that's definitely showmanship as well. Production. The lighting, not really. I mean, well, no, the lighting did look designed. So I'll give it the check. Yeah, it is not a very strong check though. I've seen better production from them. So I will give it the check, but it's a weak check for production. But that's okay. Production is just bonus points anyway. So this is how we got from, like I said, 8.4, 8.5 range-ish, up to an 8.7. I know that's not a huge increase, and the reason for that is, like I've said, I've seen better live performances. I've seen better visual performances from them than I saw here. They did check off all the boxes, absolutely, but it comes back to expectation. How much of an impact did it have in comparison to other live shows I've seen just from them? Forget about other bands. I've seen other bands do far better. Okay, I'm just talking about by their own standard. So I've seen better from them. I've seen stronger from them. So that's why the increase wasn't quite as big as we probably would have liked to have seen. But there was still an increase. Okay, so 8.7. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.7, which is a great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. And in all honesty, guys, if anybody's going to complain about getting an A letter grade, my best advice to you would be seek help. Seek professional help, seriously. There's a lot of bands out there that would kill for an A. So there you go, 8.7. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later, peace.